Hi, welcome to my channel. It's Tanya. Happy New Year 2022. After all the holiday cooking and baking, it's time to reset our kitchens. I hope you'll join me as I reset mine for 2022. Here's a glimpse of my kitchen. It's not a super large kitchen, but it's also not a very small kitchen. I would consider it average size with plenty of drawers and cabinets for storage. There are many ways to do kitchen resets. You can do it cabinet by cabinet, drawer by drawer, just depending on your time. I personally decided to remove everything from my kitchen cabinets and drawers and set it in a different area so that I could think on it and then put everything organized back in where I wanted it and how I wanted it once I was able to see exactly what I had. I will tell you that by the time I finished removing all the items out of my kitchen cabinets, all I could think and ask myself is, why do I have so much kitchen stuff? Nevertheless, I was too far in now and I've got to keep going. The benefit, I think, to doing it in this particular way is that when you see everything in front of you, it just really shocks you at how much stuff you really truly have, and it really makes you ask yourself, what do you really need? So on that note of asking yourself, what do you really need? I began by taking the most obvious items off the top of that pile, starting with my coffee pot that I use every day. Then I got my little canister that holds my filters as well as my measuring spoon to measure my coffee. Next, I grabbed our napkin holder because that's something we use daily and I knew for sure it was going back into our kitchen area. Third, I got our microwave cover because I knew I was going to use that back in our microwave area. Next, I put back in this shelf that I use as a divider for our pots and pans to create different areas for me to layer them in and so that we can see them easier when they're organized into our cabinet. I chose to organize our pots and pans next because I knew that I was keeping them all and also because they take up a lot of space on the dining table where I had everything set up. And so I was trying to quickly get the larger items, most obvious items that I knew I would be keeping and using out of the way to clear up space quickly. Next, I started working on our everyday cabinet, the cabinet where we keep our plates and cups and glasses and bowls, things that we use each and every day. I chose to work on this cabinet next because it does hold our everyday items, and those were very obvious to me. I knew that we would be keeping these things because we do use them every day. I'm in deep thoughts here because we did add in some new bowls in 2021, and so now I'm trying to figure out exactly how I need to restructure everything because my cabinet is changing because the items in it have changed. It's okay to play around with items and switch them up just to kind of see what works. You'll notice as I'm organizing things in that I'll put something somewhere and then I'll change my mind and then I'll switch it to somewhere else because I think it might work better on a certain shelf than another. Here's another example of that. As soon as I thought I got everything set on this shelf, I decided I didn't want those plates up there, that salad bowl had to move over, and that we have so many mugs that are special to us, and that's why I'm choosing to keep them. But I needed more room on that shelf, so everything kind of had to shift over. And I'm actually going to wind up putting those plates in a different cabinet, which you'll see later on in the video. And in organizing all the mugs, I realize we definitely don't need any more mugs. Next, I'm organizing our everyday utensil drawer. Now I'm organizing our pot holders and trivets drawer. I like to keep these items right next to the stove because that makes the most sense when I need them. When you organize the items in your kitchen, place them in an area that makes the most sense to you and are most functional in your kitchen. Speaking of functionality, this corner cabinet that I have in my kitchen is not functional to me at all, but it is still space and I still need to store things in it. So I intentionally choose to store things that I either use once a year or that I maybe use 3 times a year, or that I just don't need to access very often. But I'm still trying to make use of the space that I do have. This drawer is very functional to me. Since it's to the right of my stove, I like to keep all my large spoons in there for cooking, stirring, mixing, whatever it is that I need to use while I'm cooking at the stove. This next drawer I find very functional as well because I like to keep my liquid measurements, dry measurements, measuring spoons, and knives handy while I'm cooking. Pretty much anything that we would need for cooking, baking, or grilling goes in this drawer. This third drawer functions as our Tupperware drawer, which I really like because it's close to the stove. So once we're done with dinner, if there's any leftovers, I just reach down, grab some Tupperware, and put our leftovers away. Moving on to our island, I like to keep our cutting boards in there, our scale, our dish towels, and our aprons. Underneath our island, I like to store away our toaster oven. It's very big and bulky, and so when it's on the counter, it really just creates a lot of visual clutter that I don't like to see. So to me, I prefer to just put it underneath our island. Next, I'm putting in some casserole dishes and mixing bowls and just pitchers and things that we don't use every day, but that we use sometimes. Now I'm organizing in our foil paper, wax paper, and saran wrap, things that we need to have on hand every once in a while. Due to the holiday, I acquired an extra roll of aluminum foil, so I'm just going to use that up eventually. And in the meantime, I'm going to store these Ziploc bags on top. Now I'm moving to the cabinet that's furthest away from the stove and sink in the area where I work in each and every day. And I'm storing things in there that we still like or that we still use, but that we don't need to access so often, because I like to keep the things close to me that I'm accessing very often, and I like to place the things that I'm not accessing every day furthest away from me. There's the dishes that I moved from the other side of the kitchen to this side of the kitchen. This is their new home. Now I'm organizing in our cookbooks that I just for some reason can't bring myself to get rid of just yet. I keep holding on to them even though we really aren't using them. Maybe eventually my decluttering muscles will get strong enough and I'll be able to let them go. Just not today. Here's my recipe boxes, and this is another project for another day as well. I'll just need to take some time to go through them and declutter them. But again, that's not happening today either. Now I'm organizing all our vitamins in because this is the spot where we take them every morning. So it's just convenient to have them in here versus the medicine cabinet in the bathroom. Now I'm just organizing in some entertaining glasses that I have. I like to use them sometimes to make a pretty shrimp cocktail or maybe put in a pretty dessert. So I just like to have them on hand, but because we don't use them every day, I'm keeping them in this cabinet that's furthest away. Here's some more items that I would consider fun, entertaining items that we don't use all the time. I'm going to just organize them into this cabinet that's furthest away as well, so that we have them when we need them, but they're not taking up space closest to my stove where I cook every day. This cabinet holds platters and molds and just things that are fun to do, like to make snow cones or chocolate fountains, things that we want to keep on hand. Cake stands for birthday celebrations and cookie making. If it has to do with fun and entertaining, it's pretty much going in here. This drawer is also an entertaining drawer. Anything that has to do with birthday parties or holidays would go in here. Anything to decorate cakes or put candles on or sprinkles, it's going to be in this drawer. As well as birthday party napkins and holiday napkins. And matches and lighters to light candles on top of cakes. I pretty much like to keep all those items together so that when we need them, they're all together and handy and ready to be used. A little side note, don't forget to check your lighters. As I was going through these things, I noticed that one of the lighters wasn't even working anymore, so I threw it away. And then we had like 2 boxes of matches that literally had one match in each box. So of course I combined those into one and then tossed out the other ones. This is one of those items that we're just really not using, but I think it's cool, so I'm going to put it in the corner cabinet. This was another 2021 purchase of a pizza stone for a recipe that my husband made, which was delicious, by the way. But sad to say, it's been sitting in this box since we got it on top of the fridge because I didn't know where to put it, and now it needs a home. My husband and I have decided we are going to declutter this coffee maker. We're just not using it like we thought we would, and it's just taking up space. I'll put up this banana hanger in its place instead. Here are some of the items I've decided to declutter. The kitchen reveal. It's organized and it feels so much better. Thanks for watching. I hope this video encourages you to reset your kitchen in 2022. Please share this video with a friend, click like and subscribe. Bye!